Okay, so on the very first problem we have find the volume of a washer. So you think of washers as the little metal things that you put with a nut and you screw the nut down and it attaches things. All right, so if you look at the picture, it's basically a cylinder with a cylinder hole cut out of the middle. So we're going to use the cylinder formula twice. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put volume big. I'm just making a little subscript big. And so for a cylinder, it is pi r squared h. So for the big one, it'd be pi times 9 squared times 3. So if you look, the 9 meters is the radius of the big cylinder, and 3 is the height. And so we can put that in. So pi times 9 squared times 3 comes out 763.41. I'm going to round that off to 2 decimal places. And then if I do the volume of the hole that's in the middle, I'll call that the small cylinder. So I took and cut a cylinder out of the middle. It'd be pi, and the radius for that one appears to be 5, the way they have it marked. So times 5 squared, and then the height is also 3. So pi times 5 squared times 3 is 235.62. Going to round that off. So this is actually the hole that we're cutting out of this one. So to figure out what the volume is of this out here after the hole's removed, we would just subtract the 2 volumes. So when you've got a hole cut out, you use subtraction because you are taking away. And I'm doing that on my calculator in the background, and it comes out 527.79. You wouldn't have to do that on the calculator. You could do it right here, but since I have that. Oh, and with volume, we should make sure we label. It's in meters. With volume, we use meters cubed. All right, so that is the volume of this part of the cylinder with that hole cut out of the middle. All right, sorry, my voice is cracking. Let's look at number 2. So number 2 is this really cool looking shape. If we break it apart, it's really just a rectangular pyramid with a rectangular pyramid stuck on the bottom. So, and they appear to be the same size. The length and width are both 2. The heights are 1.75. So I'm going to do the volume of one pyramid, and then we'll just double it. So the pyramid formula is 1/3 times length times width times height. So in this case, that's 2 times 1.75. So if we put that in on our calculator, we get 2.33, and then we'll double it to get the whole thing.
Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
I just emailed you something, but come see me afterwards. I have something to go with it, but I just wanted to come in right away and let you know that it's from Autumn because I'm on her iPad.
Okay.
Okay, but so if you see an email from Autumn, it's me.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready. Okay, so does everybody get why we're multiplying by 2? Because there's 2 of them. They're identical. And then that'll be feet cubed.
Can I go to my office?
Yes. All right, so that is the answer to number 2. So in each of these, you're going to have to decide what to do to move forward. So let's look at number 3. And this is supposed to look like they've drilled a cylindrical hole out of this box. So first we're going to find volume of the box. I'm just going to put box. It's actually a rectangular prism, but box takes up less room on the paper, so I'm going to call it a box. How do we find the volume of a rectangular prism? Length times width times height. So 10, 14, and 12. So 10 times 14 times 12. So 10 times 14 times 12 is 1,680. And then we'll find the volume of the cylinder and subtract it. So that's pi r squared h. So pi times 2 squared. And then the height of the cylinder would be the same thing as the height of the box. So times 12. So pi times 2 squared times 12 comes out 150 point, it rounds up to basically 0.8. And then since this is the hole that we're cutting out, we're going to subtract that. And we get 1,529.2 cubic inches. So if there's a hole cut on the inside, you're going to find the volume of the hole and subtract it from the volume of the whole thing. So that's what some of the problems look like. And then some of the problems are going to look like we've stuck more than one shape together. So that's more like number 4. So we have to figure out what shapes we have. We have a cylinder and a cone, and we're just going to put them together. And it looks like the radius of the cylinder and the cone is the same, the way that they've put them together. So I'd find the volume of the cylinder first. So it'd be pi times 3 squared to be my radius times 7. So pi times 3 squared times 7 is 197.92. And then I'll do the volume of a cone, which is basically 1/3 of what this is. The formula is just 1/3 pi r squared. Oh, the height would be different though, because the height of the cone would be this way, would be 4, even though it's sideways. But it has the same radius, so we'd have pi, or 1/3 pi, times r squared times h. And I don't know if I did that right. Hang on, I'm going to do it again. 1/3 times pi times r squared times h. All right, so I got 37 point, if I round it off, it'll be 70. And so on this one, we're actually going to add them together. I'm just going to add this without my calculator because it won't take me very long. I got 235.62, if I didn't make any mistakes, and that is cubic inches.
And that's a wrap, ladies.